On World News Tonight this Monday, the government versus Microsoft, taking on one of the world's richest and most influential men. Medicine versus multiple sclerosis. For the first time, they have identified the virus. And our series, The Way They Live. On the Greek island of Crete, they certainly know how to live longer.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the government versus Microsoft. There's a great deal at stake. The government accuses Microsoft of illegally abusing its position in the marketplace to drive out its competitors. The Justice Department said as the case was getting underway today that the antitrust laws of the nation were designed to prevent such a thing. ABC's Terry Moran is covering the trial for us, and he begins with a straight-ahead attack by the government today on Mr. Microsoft himself, Bill Gates.
As Microsoft and Justice Department lawyers came to do battle at the federal courthouse, a Bill Gates impersonator showed up, adding a surreal touch. Inside the courtroom, the real Bill Gates, on videotape, under oath in a deposition taken in August. Gates was asked about his role in a critical 1995 meeting between Microsoft and its rival Netscape. The Justice Department says Microsoft in that meeting tried to bribe and bully Netscape into not competing. I wasn't involved in setting up the meeting, Gates says on the tape. Then government lawyer David Boies revealed an internal Microsoft memorandum written by Gates 3 weeks before that meeting. I think there is a very powerful deal of some kind we can do with Netscape, Gates wrote. I would really like to see something like this happen. On videotape, Gates claims a proposal to invest in Netscape to sweeten the deal didn't make sense to me. But in the memo, he had written something quite different. We could even pay them money as part of the deal, buying some piece of them or something. A Microsoft executive defended Gates on the courthouse steps.
Good afternoon. You just heard an opening statement that was based entirely on loose and unreliable rhetoric and on snippets that were not in any sort of responsible context.
Assistant Attorney General Joel Klein defended the Justice Department.
What this case has always been about is to make sure that there's competition in this critical American industry.
Well, that's precisely what Microsoft says it wants too, and they accuse the Justice Department of threatening the thriving computer industry by targeting one of its creators, Bill Gates. Peter?
Terry, we know this case is going to be with us for a while. Microsoft will have its first word at least tomorrow. Take us back, however, to where it began and how it began.
Well, Peter, the federal government has been investigating Microsoft for years on a variety of fronts, but this case begins, and it will turn on a single meeting on June 21st, 1995.
At that meeting, Microsoft executives confronted the founders of Netscape, a company which had taken the lead in the internet browser business. Microsoft allegedly offered to carve up that booming business with Netscape or else.
Microsoft came to us and they basically said, they basically sat us down and in their best Don Corleone accent, they said, "We're going to make you an offer you can't refuse."
But Netscape says it did refuse, and what Microsoft did next is the crux of this trial. The government will try to prove that Microsoft tried to crush Netscape. August 2nd, 1995. Microsoft Chairman Bill Gates visits Intel, the dominant chip maker and a close Microsoft partner. According to an Intel memo, Gates is livid that Intel was developing software which could help Netscape. Gates allegedly made vague threats about Intel's investments in the internet and wanted them stopped. September 1995. A Microsoft executive says in a speech about Netscape, "We are going to cut off their air supply. Everything they're selling, we're going to give away for free." And in fact, 3 months later, in December 1995, with Netscape's browser still far ahead and selling at $59 a copy, Microsoft announces it will give its browser away for free by building it into Windows 95. June 1996, computer maker Compaq plans to offer Netscape's browser and remove Microsoft's from the desktop screen. Microsoft responds by threatening to take away Windows altogether, a death sentence for any PC maker. Compaq gives in.
The government paints a vivid picture of a big company bullying and threatening an entire industry. But Microsoft says it will be able to prove that that account is pure fiction, beginning with that first meeting with Netscape.
Well, we don't agree with that portrayal of that meeting. We have those meetings all the time with literally hundreds of software companies every quarter. At times, those do get contentious.
Was it Microsoft's plan and policy to give the browser capabilities away for free and thus kill Netscape?
The intent was to improve our products based on what we heard consumers telling us they wanted.
Microsoft will produce its own witnesses and experts to back up its story that Netscape made crucial mistakes and that Microsoft just made a better product.
Our market share started to increase related to browsing capabilities in Windows, and that's just the way this industry operates. The people with the best product win.
So the case boils down to the government's claim that Microsoft won't obey the laws and Microsoft's claim that the government doesn't understand the industry. Peter?
Terry, enormous case, enormous legal ramifications. What about it for the millions of people who use Microsoft software?
Well, Microsoft would say what's at stake is the company's right to offer those consumers new features in the Windows operating system whenever those consumers want it. The government says if it wins, there will be more choices for those consumers and not just Microsoft choices.
And it's going to take several weeks for this case to get undone, right?
6 to 8 weeks is the hope right now.
Many thanks. Terry Moran in Washington tonight. Clear explanation of where we're going with that one. Other news when we come back. Another terrorist act in the Middle East and real stress on the Middle East peace talks here. And Mike Tyson's going to get another chance to box. He talks and money talks.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Quaker Oatmeal.
Something amazing happened here in Lafayette, Colorado.
Thanks to oatmeal.
I ate it for 30 days.
100 of us did.
98 of us.
98 of us. 98 of us lowered our cholesterol.
Mine went down 17 points.
A bowl of Quaker oatmeal a day.
My cholesterol went down 15 points.
16 very proud points.
That's a lot of healthy hearts.
Mine went down 5.
27.
9 big ones.
That's some powerful oatmeal.
Can you believe it?
Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and soul.
What's your idea of the perfect minivan? Is it the most luxurious? One with a leather-trimmed and preferred suede interior, heated front seats, and dual-zone temperature control? Or is it America's lowest-priced minivan that still includes features like easy-out roller seats and air conditioning? There's only one place to choose from the complete selection of award-winning minivans. Your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer. Now get up to $1,000 cash allowance on select Chrysler and Plymouth minivans.
Discover the fiber therapy that tastes so good people prefer it over Metamucil 2-to-1. Discover Citracel, the only fiber powder that won't produce excess gas. Citracel, no excess gas and better taste too.
In the Middle East today, more than 60 Israelis were injured when a man threw 2 hand grenades into a crowd at a bus stop at Beersheba. Many of the injured were Israeli soldiers. The Israelis say the man they captured is a Palestinian. A spokesman for the Palestinian group Hamas says it's the kind of thing that will continue until the Israelis end their occupation of Palestinian land. It is exactly the kind of thing which jeopardizes the Israeli-Palestinian peace process being negotiated under President Clinton's leadership here. Sam Donaldson joins us tonight from the White House. These talks going well or badly, Sam?
Well, Peter, both sides say they think an agreement is in their interest, so it's still a fair bet that they'll reach one. However, that grenade attack certainly complicates matters. It makes it more difficult and the outcome far less certain. Earlier today, President Clinton flew back to Maryland's Eastern Shore to the Y Plantation Conference Center where the negotiations are being held. And at this moment, he's meeting in a three-way meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu and Palestinian leader Arafat. Earlier today, the Israelis said they would not discuss anything at the moment except security issues because of the grenade attack. So presumably the three of them are discussing security issues.
Okay, Sam, thanks very much. Sam Donaldson at the White House this evening on the Middle East peace talks in Maryland, which have been fairly secret for most of the time. Overseas again in Kosovo today, Serb military units have moved out of their barracks and begun shelling ethnic Albanian villages despite the threat of NATO airstrikes. The Serbs say they were responding to the killing of 3 Serb policemen over the weekend by ethnic Albanians. Because of the new fighting, the United Nations has held back 2 convoys of trucks carrying aid to ethnic Albanians who have already been forced from their homes. In Nigeria today, more than 500 people have now died as a result of a ruptured fuel pipeline that caught fire over the weekend. The fire, still smoking today, was sparked by scavengers who poked holes in the pipeline to siphon off fuel. Here at home, it was another terrible day across most of southern Texas. The rain kept coming down, the rivers kept going up. At least a dozen people have been killed since the weekend, and the floodwaters have sent hundreds of people running from their homes. ABC's Aaron Hayes tonight in New Braunfels, Texas.
It just will not stop. The water is forcing people to run from their homes. It is flash flooding, powerful enough to deposit a cow on a rooftop, realign everything in its path. And it is frightening. Donna Fuchs and her husband were racing home to get their children, and their truck was swamped.
And they said, our house is gone.
There are now several thousand people out of their homes in South Texas, and many have lost everything.
This was where my house was, right here.
Steve Crosby's house was sheared off by the Guadalupe River, rose 25 feet in 2 hours, and took the house next door.
This was a two-story house, and if you look at the very tip tops of those trees,
that's how high the
river was.
In the town of New Braunfels, more than 30 homes swept away, a trail of debris where they stood.
The Crosby's house is gone. The Boysenberry's house is gone.
They got no warning, but they are warning their fellow Texans downstream.
I tell them to get out. Get out quick.
Aaron Hayes, ABC News, New Braunfels, Texas.
When we come back, science, a step towards a cure for multiple sclerosis. Could one virus unleash all the symptoms?
As a highlight of our franchisee meeting, we have the co-founder of Pizza Hut, Mr. Frank Carney.
Recently, the retired co-founder of Pizza Hut did something surprising. He bought a Papa John's franchise.
Sorry, guys. I found a better pizza.
Today, he owns over 70 restaurants.
Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. He's got it.
Try our Papa's Choice. That's a large pizza with your choice of up to 5 toppings for just $9.99.
Home Depot is about building. So today we're helping people build a playground.
Everybody's just kind of pitching in and doing what's got to be done to get it done.
When I first started working out here, it was just a plot of land with weeds growing through it.
It's got pretty and clean and no graffiti.
The children are the experts. They drew us pictures with crayons and clay sculpture models.
Because the kids don't have an outdoor place really to go to other than the streets.
It's a tough neighborhood. There's a lot of crime, there's a lot of violence.
They was doing drugs and they did drive-bys.
When I look out here and see all these people working together, it makes me feel very good.
It'll show members of the community that there are other people beside themselves that care about what happens around here.
We have jungle gyms, we have swings, slides, things that they can hang from and swing across.
This project is Home Depot. This is what we're all about.
We really care about the community, we care about the kids, and we believe in giving back what the community has given to us.
Tell the truth. Do you soak your dentures every day? No? Takes too long? Well, Polident works in just 5 minutes. So it's easy to clean every day. And that's what really helps control denture odor. Use 5-minute Polident every day.
Life's an adventure because you're over 50 and still exploring. So take the Centrum made just for you, Centrum Silver, with age-essential nutrients specially adjusted to keep pace with your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver, it's a great time to be silver.
In Miami today, the opening statements in a first-ever class action lawsuit against the tobacco industry. 500,000 people who claim that smoking made them sick have collectively sued the cigarette makers for $200 billion in damages. In Montreal tomorrow, researchers are going to lay out dramatic evidence about a possible cause of multiple sclerosis. At least 300,000 Americans have MS. It can be utterly debilitating, and some people die from it. Question is, what triggers MS? Researchers are going to present their evidence at a conference of the American Neurological Association. ABC's John McKenzie has this important preview.
By the time she arrived at her doctor's office, Marie Brancato was experiencing many of the symptoms of multiple sclerosis.
Real confused, can't concentrate, losing my balance, and it got so severe to where I was seeing double vision. That's when I really got scared and nervous.
In multiple sclerosis, the body's immune system attacks nerve fibers, leaving them scarred and hardened, and that disrupts nerve signals. Scientists have long suspected this process is triggered by a virus, but they could never identify which one. Now, researchers in Milwaukee may have done just that. Here at the Institute for Viral Pathogenesis, they examined blood and lymph nodes from MS patients and found evidence of a single active virus. They examined brain tissue and saw it again, and in the exact areas where nerve fibers were being destroyed.
Where there is inflammation, where there is bad stuff going on, where there is disease, that's where we see the virus.
The virus is called human herpes virus 6, or HHV6. HHV6 is normally harmless. In fact, most of us are infected during childhood. But in some people, some adults, the virus seems to reawaken and turn destructive. No one is certain why. The good news is there are drugs to fight this virus, drugs which might reduce many of the symptoms of MS. Not only might these medications help patients who don't respond to existing treatments, remarkably, they might have the potential to actually stop the progression of MS.
We now have a target. We have something specific that we can go after.
They've even developed a blood test to show when the virus turns active. When Marie Brancato was diagnosed with MS last year, her blood test revealed plenty of active HHV6.
Make a pointer.
Now, taking an antiviral drug twice a day, there's no sign of it. As for her physical condition...
Back to exercising, my normal routine, doing fine.
While more studies are needed to confirm these results, finally linking multiple sclerosis to a specific virus might allow patients like Brancato to hope for a more normal life, while moving one step closer to a cure.
Good throw!
John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
There is more information on multiple sclerosis on our website, abcnews.com, on the internet, of course, or through America Online. Other news. On the southern Australian island of Tasmania today, 100 pilot whales have died after repeatedly beaching themselves. Rescue workers had moved the whales out to sea over the weekend only to have them return to shallow water. Scientists never know exactly why whales come ashore, but once a whale gets stuck, it sends out distress calls that bring others to help. Up next, back in business, Mike Tyson gets to go another round.
Enterprise? Hi, I'm at the repair shop. I need to rent a car.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
This is great.
drive you to our place, and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Tylenol House Call from Extra Strength Tylenol.
Your medicine cabinet. You use it every day, but do you really know what's in there?
Not everything. No. I never thought about it.
My medicine cabinet? Well, it pays to take a good look in your medicine cabinet. You might be surprised to find that you may have a prescription drug that could interact with an over-the-counter medication, altering the effectiveness or safety of one or both of the drugs. So here's some tips for you and your medicine cabinet. First, read the label for any warnings about drug interactions. Then, get rid of all out-of-date medicines and those you don't take anymore. Who needs them? And if you're one of the millions of people who takes a prescription drug, speak with your doctor about the pain reliever you choose. For people on certain prescriptions, Tylenol is the brand of pain reliever doctors recommend most. So check out your medicine cabinet. Any questions? Check with your doctor or pharmacist.
Tylenol House Call is brought to you by Extra Strength Tylenol.
He's worked almost 40 years. She's worked almost 40 years. And during that time, they've gone on walks together instead of cruises, and shared secrets together instead of champagne, just so that someday they could retire and be together all the time. At Cigna, we care about the retirement dreams of over 5 million people. After all, there are dreams too. Cigna, a business of caring.
There is an athlete amongst us, disguised as a mother and a neighbor. And when most of us are still sleeping, she's running. She also takes the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and folic acid in Women's Ultra Mega Multivitamins made by General Nutrition Centers. Tomorrow, she'll get up and run some more. Women's Ultra Mega Multivitamins made exclusively by GNC. Live strong, live well.
In Las Vegas today, the Nevada Athletic Commission gave Mike Tyson another chance. He's been out of boxing since he beat Evander Holyfield last year. Today, the commission granted Tyson's request to return. The real winner may be the business of boxing itself. ABC's John Frankel is in Las Vegas.
Mike Tyson said today that he could not afford to lose this fight.
my freedom's on the line and my professional career is on the line, and I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am.
Muhammad Ali was there for moral support. And also in Tyson's corner, his new promoter, former basketball player, Magic Johnson. The 3-hour session included testimony from the medical team that evaluated Tyson's mental state. They recommended he be allowed to resume boxing.
We believe Mr. Tyson is better prepared to handle the stresses of boxing than he is to be put in a new situation.
I make a motion that we grant Mr. Tyson's petition for reinstatement.
Some believe that financial pressure is what motivated the commission to reissue Tyson's license, that moral authority was less important than the money Tyson can generate.
He is really what generates the huge purses. He generates the huge audiences. He is the cash cow for boxing.
The second battle between Tyson and Evander Holyfield was the largest grossing fight in history. In addition to nearly $9 million in non-gambling revenues for Las Vegas, it was seen on pay-per-view in a record 2 million homes.
There has never been a product, for lack of a better word, on pay-per-view like Mike Tyson.
In spite of or because of Tyson's controversial life, he is a money-making machine. It is now up to Magic Johnson to steer Tyson through the next phase of his career, which he hopes will begin with a fight in December. John Frankel, ABC News, Las Vegas.
Still in sports, a victory today for the team owners of the National Basketball Association. An arbitrator rejected a grievance from players who wanted to be paid during the ongoing lockout. The first 2 weeks of the season have already been canceled. Players and owners continue to argue about the salary structure in the league. On the money, in other respects, let's go straight to the Wall Street numbers. The Dow Jones Industrials gained more than 49 points to close at 84.66. On the NASDAQ market, stocks were up more than 27 points. There is clearly more investor confidence out there than a week or so ago. That second cut in the interest rates by the Federal Reserve appears to have made some difference. There were several mergers or takeovers of note today. Monday's typically merger day because deals are finalized over the weekend when the markets are closed. That great American symbol of highway travel, Greyhound, is going Canadian. The Canadian transportation company Laidlaw now says leave the driving to us all over North America. And the largest grocery chain in the country is being formed. Kroger in the south and the Fred Meyer chain in the west will become one, 300,000 employees altogether. Another bad day for the Russians. The Russian currency fell more than 5%. There's been an enormous increase this year in the number of Russian poor. The government says 30% of the population now lives below the poverty line, which is $32 a month. When we come back, the secrets of Crete, what they eat and the way they live.
Gas? Bloating? Need relief that's Phazyme Fast?
Yes.
Get maximum strength Phazyme with 33% more gas medicine in each pill. Relieve gas. Phazyme Fast. More medicine, fast relief. Phazyme.
From now on, embarrassing odor from bladder leakage won't stop me from going where I want to go.
Or doing what I want to do. And it shouldn't stop you.
Introducing A&D personal care products for bladder leakage in soothing dry lotion and cleansing towelettes. It's the first line of products made to capture and eliminate urine odor on contact and soothe irritated skin.
Ordinary lotions or wipes can't do that.
You'll feel fresh, clean, and odor-free all day.
New A&D personal care. A&D as in odor-free.
People everywhere are dialing 10-10-321 to save money every day. Now, every time you use 10-10-321, you also have a chance to win $10,000. Every 10-10-321 call is an automatic entry to win $10,000 with a winner each day. So dial 10-10-321 today. It's easy. You'll save up to 50% on your phone bill and get a chance to win $10,000. The more calls you make, the more you can save, and the more chances you have to win. 10-10-321, offering big savings and now giving away $10,000 a day.
Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo. Recommended #1 by dermatologists. It works. Works on all 3 major itchy, flaky scalp conditions. The leading dandruff shampoo doesn't. Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo. It works.
Change happens. The season premiere of NYPD Blue. ABC Tuesday. Viewer discretion advised.
Brief review of the main story. The government and Microsoft began doing battle in federal court today. The government accused Microsoft CEO Bill Gates today of taking part in a meeting in which the government says they tried Microsoft to bully Netscape into not competing. Finally this evening, the way they live. Still over here, all right? We're going to make several stops this week in other places where we are quite convinced that Americans will learn something about living a better life. The Greek island of Crete has always been identified with healing and regeneration. And once again, in an ancient culture, there may be lessons for modern life. ABC's Sheila McVicker paid a visit.
On the Greek island of Crete, where olive trees grow in endless rows, and the cicadas speak of summer heat, the people live long, very long. My mother was 112 when she died, he says. I'm planning to be 120. There is no fountain of youth here, and low stress isn't the only answer. For 30 years, some researchers have suggested that what they eat gives the people of Crete the lowest rate of heart disease in the Western world, 10 times lower than the rate in the United States. Olive oil is good for the heart, he says. It's like a drug. Olive oil with everything, more than 3 cups per person a week, especially in combination with the pound or more of fresh fruit and vegetables people here eat every day, with the fish they favor over meat, all washed down with a little wine. This isn't low fat, but new research shows it may be the healthiest way to eat. A study by French doctors has confirmed what earlier research suggested. They put hundreds of French heart patients on a diet based on that of the people of Crete and found the impact on their longevity and health was remarkable.
They had almost complete protection from recurrences, from death.
300 of Dr. Renault's patients followed the low-fat diet recommended by the American Heart Association, and 300 others ate like the people of Crete. Within 2 months, there was a difference, and within 2 years, the patients on the Cretan diet had a 75% lower incidence of heart attack and death. Now, researchers in the U.S. want to find out if eating the Crete diet will cut the rate of heart disease in America, too. But even if the diet of Crete is proven to be effective preventative medicine, Americans will still have to decide if they will take it. Sheila McVicker, ABC News, Crete.
Tomorrow we will visit a small Japanese island where commercial fishermen live into their late 70s and farmers work on into their 90s. We'll see how they do it. That's our report on World News tonight. Later on Nightline, they will have more on the government versus Microsoft. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening. See you tomorrow. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News.